Hey, hey, hey! We got Greg Reitz live with Mark Beckvar today from the Greg Reitz Real Estate Team EXP, Fresno, Clovis, Madera, California, and Mark Beckvar from Vero Mortgage in the Central Valley here too. We service the Central Valley area, and we glad you're on the show with us today. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Grab your pen, your pencil, your paper, a coffee, whatever you drink, and get ready for some great, good information that you can trust from Vero Mortgage and the Reitz Real Estate Team. So buyers, sellers, and investors make the right choice that now is the time to get a loan and buy real estate. So, Mark, introduce yourself.
Mark Beckvar, Vero Mortgage here in Fresno, part of the Claypool Mortgage team. And Greg, thanks for having us as always. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate
We're glad that you're on because you've got great, accurate information. And I'm going to stick to my side of the street. My profession is real estate. Sellers, buyers, investors, multifamily, homes, development land, things like that. And the Mark's going to handle the real estate loan side of it and how that's looking nationally briefly, and then more towards our market. Okay, I'm going to give you some real numbers now. Let me take a consensus here real quick. Most of the, or I shouldn't say most, some of the buyers feel, some probably the smaller percentage, hey, I better wait to buy real estate because the interest rates may not go up and the price of the houses may correct and fall. Okay, let me explain it this way, and I'm going to let Mark talk about the rates. As far as the real estate side goes, correction in pricing, yes and no. We don't know that for sure. We do know that things have stabilized in the market, and you can negotiate right now for a home. We're getting our buyers into homes for $5,000 to $20,000 below what they're asking, and in some cases, getting closing costs for the buyers, which now gets you in for very low to no down. You can get in cheaper, which it helps a lot of our buyers that couldn't qualify before. So I look at it like now's the time to buy. When I look at that, that's just in the summary going into this. Okay, guys. The for sale. Now let's talk quickly about the national housing existing home sales in June. I'm giving you a June report. We like to do 30 days at a time. June, the national home sales total across the nation was down 3.4% nationally. That's a very small amount, 3.4% nationally. Now, that could be a different factor of reasons. However, the buyers that we're working with in Fresno, California, and this area are getting into homes, and they're glad that they did because they're able to negotiate those prices and not have multiple offers against them. So for them, now is the time to buy. They're saving money, and that payment's looking really good for them. So that's the good news. Remember the buyers? I'm talking to the buyers out there right now. You had multiple offer competition 90 days ago, right? Even 120 days ago, 6 months ago. You don't have that now. You might have one offer against you, maybe two. But us, with Vero Mortgage and the Reitz team, know how to negotiate that offer to get it down, to get you in that home for very low money down. Those closing costs getting paid for you. That is an awesome thing. Couldn't get that before. Heck, you'd have to pay your own closing costs, right, buyers, and add 10 or 20 or 40,000 to the price. Not anymore. So let's say before you had to add $30,000 to the price, and you had to pay your own closing. What if you could save 30 or 40,000 right now?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's time to buy, right, Mark?
It is time to buy.
Absolutely. So the existing home sales being down 3.4% in June is great. It's a buyer advantage. Buyers, you got the advantage. New housing starts in June. Talking about new construction only, nationwide. And I have to take an average. I can't take state by state. We'd be here for 2 hours talking about this information. So national housing new construction starts for June was down 7%. I actually figured it might be more, but 7% new housing starts. What does that mean? That means that the new housing sales offices are negotiating. 3 of them have already got a hold of me and my real estate team here in Fresno and willing to negotiate price on these new homes to get buyers into homes and keep that payment small, like it was when the interest rates were a little bit less at 3.5%. Now we're a little bit higher. However, with the prices coming down, I think you're ahead. You're looking good. We'll show you how we get that done. So those two things are national and local, 7% on the new housing starts less, and 3.4% on the home buyers sales, sellers dropping. That's to the buyer's advantage. That's the reason I'm sharing that. So you can
Yep.
see the truth when it's the right time to buy. You don't want to miss the opportunity. And I don't think waiting is the right thing to do. I'm talking about buyers now and even sellers. Because sellers, before I get into these stats real quick, you want to sell when the market's still moving. It's still moving right now. It's going to continue to move. I think it's going to actually get better because later on, if you hesitate too long, and let's say the Feds decide to raise the rates, Mark will tell you more about that in a minute. Let's say they decide to raise the rates, then what are you going to do? You have to negotiate the price even better to make it affordable for that buyer because the buyers are now looking for the best price opportunity, right, Mark? Low
Absolutely.
man wins. Low man wins. So
Mm-hmm.
back to that. Let's go. Um, Now we had 545 for sales. Now I'm going back to Fresno County, Fresno Madera County here in the Central Valley of California. 545 total homes for sale active and 457. That was what I'm getting at is 545 homes. 545 was the average price for sale. I had that wrong. Forgive me. 545 was the average price for sale, and the actual sold price was more around 457. So
Wow.
what they're pending at is 457 on an average for Fresno County, and 545 what they're listed at because some of the higher priced properties aren't moving as fast. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That bumps the number up. Okay. Percentage of sales from June to May, 4.7% less closed sales, less sales going in, 4.7%.
Hmm.
The sales price has not changed. They're getting 100% of action, just at and even 100%. They were getting 103 to 105% before, right, Mark? A few months ago,
That's right.
now they're at
Correct.
100. So the market is stabilized. That's a good word and the truth. It's stabilized right now. Buyers can negotiate some, and so there's your opportunity for the buyers. The sales are down just a few percentage points at 3.6 in our area. National average 3.4. Okay, for sale. Here's the key. This is going to tell you something. I'm going to break this down. If we go back to April of 2022, we're in July, so end of April, May, June, and now July. So 2.5 months. Go back to April. We had 1,019 homes for sale on the Fresno MLS real estate market. 1,019. Now we have 1,680.
Wow.
1,680 of an increase of about that's probably about 40%,
I would say,
35% more
yeah.
homes.
Yeah.
That's where your buying opportunity is. Buyers, the sellers know it's time. Now it's time to take advantage of that, and sellers are also taking advantage of it. The time for sellers and buyers in a good stable market to buy and sell. The second one is new listings. 1,462 new listings sold. We sold 952 of the 1,462. Before, we would have about 1,100 listings, let's say, and we would sell about 1,100 listings in the same
Yep.
month. But now you're getting 1,462 listed and 952 sold. So the
Mm-hmm.
listings are starting to add up. They're starting to sit on the market a little bit longer. That's where your negotiation buyers comes in.
That's
Sellers
it.
know it's time. Waiting is not to their advantage. Okay, pending 963 months of inventory, meaning from the time we listed and that property closes. If all the houses that are on the market today, if we didn't list another property today, if I didn't list another property, none of the agents in Fresno County listed another property, we would run out of inventory in 1.8 months. However, going back to April, that was an even 30 days.
Hmm.
So uh, we're now going up 1.8 months versus 1 month just 70 days ago. So things are slowing down. Things are stabilizing. That's where the buyers get the negotiation, right, Mark?
That's exactly it. There's plenty of
That,
opportunity
and
out there
that's
right
probably
now.
what you're seeing on your offers coming in too, right?
We're seeing a lot of negotiation. We're seeing down payment assistance coming back. We're seeing just creative ways to get people into houses, sellers paying closing costs. We're seeing all of those things. And that hasn't been in the market, as you know, in some time.
Absolutely. Here's another key statistic: absorption rate. I'm talking real estate guru because the average people won't understand that. That means absorption rate, guys, is if we put 100 homes on the market, how many in that time period
Mm-hmm.
does sells? How much gets absorbed? It was 96 to 100% back in April, and now it's 56 to 60%
Wow.
absorption rate. So we see the market stabilizing. Average active price, 545,000. We just talked about that. Average sold price, 457,000. That's the average sold price for Fresno Madera County. Wow. I'm reading off this report because there's some key stats and I don't want to get the numbers wrong.
Yeah.
Average price per square foot. I know there's a lot of investors and buyers that look at and sellers that want to know price per square foot. The average Fresno Madera County, $240 a square foot, same as it was in April and the same as it was in May. In April it was 247 and it's 248 now. So this is the same price per square foot. That's where it's 100. That's where you're getting the deals.
Yeah.
Sold price differential. Let's go. Average days on the market is still about 15 days. Gosh. April was 15 days, and in June is 15 days on the market. They're still moving because the buyers are getting the right price opportunities. They're making those aggressive offers, and the sellers are accepting those offers. So 15 days is still the one. The good news is where a buyer would find 0 to 2 homes to look at, now they're finding 3 and 4 homes. They could find with their real estate agent the home that they like, make an offer on it, a good reasonable offer, maybe closing costs paid or a good reduction in price, and boom, it gets accepted. That's why it's still moving to 15 days, because the buyers that are smart are taking advantage of this market. It is time. Yep. Medium active price, 443,000. 443 is your average active medium price that's on the market, not with an accepted offer yet. Medium sold price, key statistic, make sure you write this down. The medium sales price Fresno Madera County, 410,000. Now they're asking 443 and they selling at 410. Time to negotiate.
Yep.
Let's make a deal. Right? I like that. Let's make a deal time.
Let's make a deal. Come on down.
Absolutely. So that's my market report, guys. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to list because, it's not going to get any better for them sellers. It's a stable market. Rates have actually been really good. Mark's going to tell you about that now. And you guys can buy or sell investors, make up your choice with this truthful information we're giving you if now is the time. Mark, go ahead and take over with your side of it.
Greg, thank you very much. So rates have stabilized and in some cases come down over the last week and a half. The Fed is likely going to raise rates another 1 to 2 times possibly throughout the rest of the year. But I believe a lot of lenders, we have one very big lender that we used to work with that has actually lowered their rates. We all say that they're buying business, but the bigger picture with this biggest lender in the United States is they have a crystal ball, a very accurate one, and they're getting out ahead of the market and they know rates are coming down. So I think rates will start stabilizing, possibly coming down. I think the fall is going to be a really amazing time to buy a house. Although, like Greg said, I think this is a really good time to buy right now. There are programs out there. We have a conventional adjustable rate mortgage in the 4s. That's with 10% down. FHA, we can do a 2-1 buy down, which is a really nice way of having a lower payment in year 1 and year 2. And the goal there is to, you're going to get raises throughout the next 1 to 2 to 3 years. And as that payment slightly goes up over the 3-year period of time that it's bought down, your increase in income offsets it. So you could get into a house with a little lower, more comfortable payment now. And then as you get raises and your family makes more money, that higher payment throughout the next 2 years becomes more comfortable. So lots of ways to do this. Sellers are negotiating. We're doing down payment assistance again, where you can get in for $5,500 total. There are a lot of different ways. And remember, folks, rates always go up. Rates always come down. We'll refinance this loan for you in 2 years, and you won't even know what it is. It'll be such a great payment in 2 years. So stretch it out a little bit. Get aggressive with your monthly payments now. And again, we'll refinance that in 2 years, and you're going to have a really, really sweet home because you bought now. You're going to have equity because you bought now, and you're going to have a lower payment in 2 years.
So, Mark, what you're saying is, and let me share on this. When I bought my first 2 houses, I bought in about 1997, 96, 97. Mm-hmm. And I paid, my interest rate was 6.25%.
Yep.
Yes, you heard correct. 6.25. 6.25% is what I paid. And I was happy to pay it. Let's go. Right.
Yeah.
And I sold that house and I bought my second house and I paid 5.75 and I
There we
was
go.
happy to do it. Why do I share that information? That's a national average, guys. 5.5 to 6.5%.
Mhm.
This is normal real estate, right? This is normal. The feds are just trying to get us back to a normal interest rate so they don't go backwards on their money. Okay. They're just trying to be fair to themselves and their money and trying to curb this inflation. We got spoiled the last 3 years.
Mhm.
Okay. And this 3.5%, 2.75, that's crazy. But it happened. People took advantage of it. That's what caused the prices to go up, big part of it. So now we got stabilization. But normal, 5.5 to 6.5 is pretty darn normal to me.
It
So
is.
right now it's a great time. This is going to allow the prices to stabilize and start negotiating, right?
That's exactly
Right.
it. And that's what we're seeing, Greg. And it's imperative, buyers that are out there right now, that you have an excellent agent. Oh, I guess it goes this way: an excellent agent and a very knowledgeable, consistent lender. And
Right there, boss. Right
there it
there.
is. You got it right. I
Anyway,
had to
we
figure out
got.
the
I
camera
gotta
angle.
say, I've got to add this too. Um, I love the fact that you can refi. You talked about that, guys. Look, so let's say you're in at 5.25 to 5.75 right now. Just pick a number. I have to pick some average here, and you're at those rates right now. You negotiate the price of the home at the right price, and maybe you get your closing costs paid. You're in cheap. You're in for a good payment. Well, because rates go up and down just like the how a real estate market goes up
Yep.
and down. It's all together. What's gonna happen is over time, the feds will say, you know what, we need to modify this rate down to stimulate the market again, right? They're going to stimulate it again by dropping those interest rates. Do I think they'll go to 2.75 to 3.5? No. I'll throw my name out there on that. I don't think so. But I do think we can get them around 4 or 4.5, right, Mark?
I totally
So
agree. I think
so
that's
with
coming
that,
up.
how much is that going to make on your payment? It's going to make a little bit of a difference. It's going to
Bet
be
it
worth
is.
refinancing. So Mark's saying that you can refinance when the Feds drop this rate back down in the future, and now you're really looking good.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I want to share something else that a lot of buyers don't think about. A lot of buyers don't think about. Let's put our investment cap on. Think about it. Think about it from an investment standpoint on a house. A couple of things I want to share here. That's why I'm being serious now. Let's say you're paying rent. The average rent in the United States right now, on an average in the whole nation, is $2,000 a month. 2,000. I've got it in Fresno on rentals from 1,400 to 2,400 for 3 bedroom, 2 baths.
Yep.
That's it. But we know that's the national average. You're taking that average, and let's say you decide, well, I want to see if the market's going to crash or correct, and maybe I'll get really lucky and the rates will drop. The balance between houses correcting in price and the interest rate is not going to accommodate you in the numbers you're looking for, because there is no crash coming. Okay, that is it's just hoopla. Remember, the media likes to be negative.
Yep.
So, hoping and waiting for a year, year and a half, or 2 years for a stabilized market to drop when you can get the price now, hoping that the interest rates drop, which is probably not going to happen. You know what I mean? Where we're at now. Saying that, now's the time to buy. And how much are you going to lose in rent? So let's pick a number. I'm going to wait 2 years, Greg and Mark, to buy. Okay. How is that going to work for you? Let me help you through that, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer. That's $2,000 a month for rent for 2 years. How much is that?
$48,000.
$48,000, right, Mark? So we're going to throw away to another landlord that decided to buy now. That's now going to put you in their rental and collect your money and pay his mortgage.
Yep.
That's the truth. Don't give that guy your mortgage, that mortgage money. That's your house.
Yep.
Take advantage. Stand up, get strong, or go get yourself a house. You're going to pay for somebody's house. Is it going to be yours or somebody else's? So that's $48,000 that you're going to throw away in 2 years when you could have bought now. And tax advantages are huge. It's like 30 cents back on the dollar. Check with your tax person. I'm not a professional. That's how it's worked with me and the people that I've done business with. So 30 cents on every dollar. So let's say your interest write-off is $1,500 a month. About $500 a month goes back, 400 or 500 a month goes back in your pocket on your tax advantages. But again, you'll need to check with your tax advisor and accountant on that, right, Mark?
That's exactly right. And Greg, in your analogy, let's say that you bought a $300,000 house, and let's say it's not going up 25% a year in equity. You're not gaining that much equity, but let's say you're gaining 8% now, and it's slowed down. Well, what's 8% times 300,000 a year? Guess what? It's $24,000.
20. So basically, what you're saying, Mark, if they bought now and they made 7.5%, 8% every year, in 3 years, they would make $24,000 in price.
They would make 20. That's it. That's exactly it. It offsets what they're paying. If they're paying $24,000 a year for their mortgage payment, but it's going up 8% a year, they're making $24,000 a year. So they're paying 24, but they're making 24.
That's
you
right.
don't do that when you rent.
This next thing just came into me right now. Came from above. That's $24,000 ahead. How about this? What about, we talked about the tax write-off, right? Huge every month.
Yeah, absolutely.
But number 3, the principal buy down. The principal buy down, meaning every time you make a payment, let's say a house is 500 inches long. I'm kind of making a little bit of a funny thing here, but measure the house 500 inches long. Every time you make a payment, you own 3 inches of that house. Every time you make a payment, you own 3 inches of another sliver of that house.
Yep.
Okay? That's a good way to analogy on it. So your principal's going down. So let's say your payment is $2,000 a month. It's an easy number. And towards your principal is $500. Every time you make a payment, your principal balance goes down and your equity is going up. Equity build, principal buy down, interest write-off. A win, and a win across the board. Tax advantages, principal buy down, and equity build. And you're not throwing your money away to that other guy, that investor that purchased a house, sometimes brand new houses, and put a renter in there. You're paying his mortgage. What sense does that make?
Doesn't, and you're not even a thing. Exactly. And that doesn't even factor in the fact that that landlord could say to you one day after you've been there a year and a half, hey, you know what? I want to sell my house.
Right.
Then what do you do?
Right.
It's just the best thing you can possibly do.
And you've got good rates right now at Vero Mortgage. We've got great opportunities. We're negotiating homes down for our buyers. We've got 10 escrows on the board right now. We're rocking and rolling. Got a great lender with Vero Mortgage with Mark Beckfar and Corbin Claypool there. And it's awesome. It's working great. You got loan programs, right? 0 down payment, USDA, VA, 0 down, right? We're able to get people in. Tell me a little bit more about a couple loan programs, Mark.
So many ways to get in. We're bringing on board an adjustable rate lender that'll be a 10-year fixed. So it's fixed for 10 years and it's under 5%. We can also do that with a jumbo. We have USDA, which is basically rural. So let's say you're out in Sanger, Reedley, Chowchilla. Some of those homes can do 100% financing as long as your credit's decent. And we can make that work as long as it's in a rural area, and we can look that up for you.
And let me say something to the buyer. A lot of the buyers, because of inflation, the cost of living nowadays, right, Mark, don't have a lot of money to come in with.
True.
So let's say we have that $400,000 home. You say, well, Greg and Mark, I've got $20,000, I've got $15,000, but before we needed 30 because $13,000, $15,000 are going to closing costs. Now we get closing costs paid for you because we can negotiate that now for a buyer in most cases. Now you come in with just a small down payment.
That's exactly it.
Victory. You win with low money in. I love that way that sounds. You win with low money in.
I like it.
That's how you have to look at it. So quit paying that rent. Let's get going. You have enough. Do it. You
absolutely
make that decision. Now's the time to invest in your real estate market.
I agree.
Any final thoughts, Mark?
Just again, if you take away one thing from this podcast today, take away that it is still an amazing time to buy, and you're still going to do very well in real estate. And both of us would love to talk through it, answer any questions, and help you to understand today's market.
And let me put a little bit of how do I say it? Sweat and tears into this. Now's the time to buy. Here's proof. I just bought 2 houses. 2. One of them closed, and it's going to be in southeast Fresno. One of those is closed. And the second one is in Clovis with a pool, and I'm in escrow on that one.
Nice.
So 2 homes. Actually, we closed that one yesterday. So both of them have closed just recently. And so if that wasn't the time to buy, why would I be buying?
That's exactly it.
Right?
That's exactly
because it's time to buy. I'm not waiting for some correction or crash that's never going to happen. That's a lie from the pits of hell. So we're looking at now's the time. I know it is. That's why I bought 2.
Yep.
Then you're going to look back and say, I did the right thing. The rates drop back down in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Congratulations. Refi and win again. And you're not going to throw $100,000 away to some landlord taking your money, paying off his house because he's buying now.
So true.
Now's the time.
Yep.
Okay, Mark, that's it. You could call Greg Reitz Real Estate Team on the real estate side, EXP Fresno. We're right over here by River Park. My number's 559-260-1777. Once again, 559-260-1777. You could also find me under Greg Reitz Realtor on social media. And then you've got Mark there. What's your information, Mark?
Our info is my cell phone, 559-213-0690. And our email is marcus@veromortgage.com.
Great. We like to say this, we have the home and the loan. All right. Let's get going. Talk to you guys later. Have a great time.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.